What makes a good track? Every person playing Trackmania will have a different answer. For some, it's a specific style, full speed, RPG, tech. For others, it might be the scenery, or the scale. But okay, so if it's hard to say what makes a good track, then what makes a bad track? Intuitively, this feels more obvious. It could be a lack of effort, frustrating design, or unintentionally difficult driving as a result of the mapper's inexperience. But what may appear tedious, annoying, or difficult to some can look like unclaimed territory to others. Trackmania is a game built on and legitimized by its community, especially in the modern era. While the official content, and of course the game itself, is created and maintained by Ubisoft Nadeo, many players engage almost entirely with player-made content. In Trackmania 2020, this is celebrated more than ever before, with the Track of the Day and weekly shorts competitions driven solely on community-made tracks. Among the many factions of players making up this strong community, a few aim to answer the question, what kind of bullshit can this car really do? And while the most notable example of this would be the prestigious Khaki series of tracks, there's another that gets what I believe is some undue hate, Nadeo. The Nadeo Club gathers the Trackmania community's efforts to turn the official campaign maps released each season into challenging maps with a number of twists. One campaign, for example, places the finish inside the crowd, released under the name Manslaughter. Another prompts drivers to complete a track in reverse, whether it's proven to be possible or not. And yet another adds dozens of checkpoints to each map, but you get the idea. We take a Nadeo map, we alter it, it's Altered Nadeo. My personal favorite Altered Nadeo campaign each season is the Puzzle campaign. Replacing the mini RPG alteration of seasons past, for the past few years, Dragon PNTM has released a modification for all 25 tracks of nearly every season with a hidden finish block, no checkpoints, and some insane routes. The puzzle maps require players to think outside of the box and drive on scenery, perform difficult jumps and tricks, or simply find the right set of inputs in the span of a few seconds to get the fastest time. But while I have been known to hunt for records on these maps myself, I think what keeps me coming back, anticipating the puzzle campaign more than the official maps themselves each season, is that they place the player face to face with Nadeo's level design. Now, that might sound sort of strange. The official maps are the levels that were designed. Why would moving the finish to somewhere annoying to reach be a better experience? Well, I started thinking about this after seeing some videos from the YouTuber Any Austin. I've been watching his videos since approximately 8,000 years ago, about 2013, but recently he's made some very popular videos highlighting the most boring places in a number of video games. Maybe I'm a sucker for pseudo-philosophical gaming content, but it's really cool to see him express how he sees the worlds of all the games that he covers. A location in a game being boring is subjective, but quantifying that forces you to communicate what matters to you in a game. Is it the gameplay? The scenery? The scale? So that made me think, what matters to me in Trackmania? It's my favorite game, I've got over 500 hours in the newest game alone, but why do I keep playing it? What the puzzle campaign taught me is that I play for the sense of accomplishment I get from feeling like I'm doing something you're not supposed to do. There are purpose-built tracks for any trick, bug, or technique you can think of. Bug slides, overwalls, wood flings, just to name a few, but Altered Nadeo maps make you do them on somewhat of a blank slate. Nearly everyone playing the game will hop on at least a few tracks from each new season. 25 new maps, 10 of which you can play without a paid subscription, is a pretty enticing offer whether you're a new or seasoned racer. But it's the overarching focus on these maps that makes them boring. Tune into a Twitch stream within the first month of a new season, and you'll more than likely see someone hunting for top times on the new maps. Open the game, and they're right in front of you on the largest button on the play screen. Everybody plays the campaign, and you probably do too. And once you've seen one Nadeo campaign, you've kind of seen them all. Sure, that's a bit reductive, especially when the community has plenty to say about the changes made over time. But Nadeo's mappers have a distinct and polished style that, while making the game very marketable, also makes that ever-growing official map pool a bit homogeneous and samey. Take Summer 2024-06, for example. On the original track, you have to keep grip through some dirt turns, make a few jumps, and avoid slowdowns. The best players will get a great nose down into checkpoint 4 and stick close to the corners, but that's about it. It's an optimization of the standard, obvious route. But what if we put the finish over here? Almost completely obscured from view from the majority of the main track, behind one of 10 identical advertisements in the same area, lies a lonely dirt finish block in a place that seems practically inaccessible. So what do we do to get here? Well, the world record drives 90% of the original track as is, and then jumps out just after where the final checkpoint would normally be placed. After an overwall and sign hit that would constitute a reset on the original track, they drive out into the penalty sand and up a hill covered in cosmetic cacti. Driving behind the sign requires dipping one wheel off the ledge and returning on the other side of a rock to reach the obscured finish. But along the way, we get much closer to the scenery than a typical run does. For example, take a look at this bridge truss and water tank, both cleverly made out of smaller cosmetic blocks. And the route the record takes through the cacti on the hill, the gaps are so conveniently aligned to allow the car to pass through cleanly, even though it's almost guaranteed the mapper never intended us to drive here. This idea carries forward to so many other alternate Nadeo maps. By moving the finish, removing the checkpoints, adding reactor boosts, or whatever else the campaign style calls for, the entire genre prompts players to make the boring parts of Nadeo's signature map style more interesting. For me at least, playing these has given me a much greater appreciation for the work that goes into making maps, and it's gotten me more interested in making them myself at times. It takes a lot for me to get a creative spark, and hey, you're watching this video, so clearly these maps inspired something in me. So, the next time you hear Granady,
Och nee!
or Scrapie,
Are you fucking serious? Oh my god!
or the subreddit clowning on alternate Nadeo, think about how these tracks can actually offer something interesting and refreshing in making these boring tracks fun again.